Welcome back. I don't know what that was that just popped up with the screen. I think it's the way it's like connected to my phone and everything. As you guys know, I stream all of this from my phone, and I just realized that my hair, wow, y'all, if it has been a Monday. Anywho, welcome to our Monday training today. And I'm super duper excited about today's topic. Super excited to talk to you guys about something that I'm really passionate about, which is mindset. And I know that we talk about mindset and how like we tie it in a lot of different ways here. I feel like, hold on, let me see if I can fix this camera issue that's going on. Maybe my cord is dying. Let's see here. Okay. So let's see if this does better. Anyhow, so as you guys know, we tie mindset into a lot of different things. And so I'm really excited to really talk about how you can use your mindset and adjust your mindset to grow your business. So if you guys are really excited about this, okay, it's not working. So I'm going to just pause for a second. Okay, so hopefully that works better. I used it this morning for another class and I didn't have any issues. So please, technology, be my friend today. Anywho, thank you so much for bearing with me and understanding that tech issues happen. But super excited to talk to you guys about this today, and gonna try to not waste too much more time with all of my tech problems. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got the situation figured out. So if you're joining me live at 2 p.m. Eastern on Monday, then comment live. If you are watching the replay at another time, comment replay. I'd love to know who's with me live and who's watching the replay. And if you are maybe coming in a little bit after 2, sometimes it can come and start right in the middle. Sometimes it will start over from the beginning. Either way, joining us in the mid-afternoon of Monday, you can comment live because we're right here in the moment of it, right? So, and I've got some coffee today because I need it, y'all. I just got back from a conference this weekend, and it was, like, I absolutely love going to things where I can network with others and learn from others because it gets my brain going. And all of a sudden, I was on a million miles an hour before I went, and now it's really crazy just where my brain is at right now. So, playing catch up today on communications. So if you have reached out to me in the past 5 or 6 days and haven't heard back, I am trying to siphon through all of it, but working on all of it. And I don't know that my tech issues are fixed. So I'm hoping that we can get this situated, hoping that my camera will come back on and not be causing so many issues. So I will try to not sorry. Okay. I'm going to ignore it. I'm just going to ignore it because it wants to be ridiculous. And then there's a delay too. All right. So let me find the comments, you guys, while we're doing this. Let me just come over here, find the comments, and see if anybody's on here. I feel like my internet is lagging. Guys, if you're getting some lag in the internet, like something's just not working right other than the camera cutting off, let me know in the comments so that way I can try to just get a better idea as to whether or not I should hop off of this and come back, kind of restart things and come back, or if it's worth staying on and just fighting through the camera issues. Let me know in the comments which one you think would work better for this scenario. Looks like we have a handful of people on here. So I'm going to kind of dive right into what our topic is until I hear from you guys as to whether or not I should restart. So what we're going to talk about today is using mindset to grow your business. And like I said, we've talked about mindset a little bit, but I really wanted to hone in on this today because I think it's really important, especially as the spring market starts to ramp up. Not that we haven't had a stressful couple of years in the business, but as the spring market starts to ramp back up, our mindset becomes a little bit more clouded because we get busier, right? So kind of going into today, I want to talk to you guys about some tactics and things you can do to adjust your mindset. But before we get into that, we have to kind of really like dive into what is mindset, right? So let's ask ourselves, what is mindset? And you guys, these aren't rhetorical questions today. We are going to have a few areas where I am looking for some responses for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and dig into what I actually found like a definition to be of mindset. But I would love to hear from you guys in the comments of what do you think mindset is? Go ahead and put that in the comments for me. And as you guys know, your engagement and it breathes life into me. So whenever you guys comment, whenever you guys react, that really helps breathe life into me. As I dig into that, I am going to go ahead and split my screen so I can have my notes for today and your chat all in the same area. Let's see here. I'm going to have to separate that out to do it. Bear with me, y'all. I promise. I will admit that I am less than, I'm doing less than great on the sleep lately. So just bear with me here. All right. Where is my chat with you guys? There it is. Okay. Hey, Katie, you have got to be feeling my pain. You were there this weekend too. So, you've got to be feeling my pain. So, all right, let's get into mindset. So the definition type thing that I found for mindset is your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. It influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. So let's think about that. Let's break it down, right? And I'm someone who reads things multiple times to really get it to embed. Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you sense the world and yourself. It influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. So, like, influences, impacts, that's pretty big, right? Something that has the ability to impact the way we think, feel, and act or behave in our lives, that's a pretty big impact. We would want to make sure that that's something that has that big of an impact in our lives would be I don't know, accurate, right? Like you want to make sure that like the screws are all tightened on something. It'd be like going, you want to make sure the parachute works if you're going skydiving. So something that has the ability to impact your life that large, you would want to make sure that it's in a good place, right? So what is mindset? There we go. Now, and I apologize for the camera. I see it keep going back and forth. Hopefully you guys are still getting audio. Why is mindset important? And I would love to hear from you guys why you think mindset is important. Stephanie said how motivated you are. So mindset, when I asked about like what is mindset, she said how motivated you are. Deborah said what your attitude and focus are on, whether you are thinking the world is for you or doing things to you. That is really good, Deborah. Like that's not something I've heard anybody phrase it as, but like sometimes we get this perception, right, that the world is out to get us. And think about what I just said. We get this perception that the world is out to get us. It doesn't mean the world is out to get us. It just means that the way we are seeing things is that everybody's against us. And so I think that's a really good thing to hone in on, Deborah. Thanks for adding that. So why is mindset important? Why do you guys think mindset is important? I'll go ahead and dive in. Our mindset plays a critical role. And guys, I'm reading this a little bit because I wanted to make sure that in this conversation today, it wasn't just me sharing based on my experience, based on the knowledge that I've learned, but having legitimate things scientifically proven that I can share with you guys, because I think that's really important sometimes too. While I think I am really knowledgeable in this, and I consider myself to be somewhat of an expert in this area, I know that I am not the most knowledgeable. And so there's always something to be learned. So I wanted, in preparation for this class today, I wanted to make sure that I was getting more answers than just out of here, right? So I am reading a little bit. So why is mindset important? Our mindset plays a critical role in how we cope with life's challenges. Our mindset plays a critical role in how we cope with life's challenges. kind of goes back to like how it impacts, right? It impacts how we think, feel, and behave. And it plays a critical role in how we cope with challenges, obstacles, adversity, all of that. And who hasn't faced challenges in the past 2 years, right? Am I right or am I right? Yes or yes? Who hasn't faced challenges? And why wouldn't we think that those challenges would impact our mindset, the way we do things? Like, we'd be crazy to think that those challenges that we've faced over the past couple of years don't have an impact on the way we approach our lives, the way we think about things, right? Give me some reactions. Give me something in the comments, guys, if you agree or disagree. If you agree or disagree, let me know, because I do want to hear from you guys. So our mindset plays a critical role in how we cope. This should almost be a podcast with all the camera issues that I see that's happening. Our mindset plays a critical role in how we cope with life's challenges. Yeah, that's pretty big, I think. So I want to talk to you guys today about 2 types of mindsets. And you may have heard of them, you may have not, but we're going to kind of dive in a little bit. And I'm going to show you guys a graphic that I found on Google. Don't own it, didn't make it. Found it on Google, and I will drop it in the comments after all of this, because I want to share it with you guys, but I don't think it's going to come up as easy to read whenever I share my screen in just a moment. But the 2 mindsets that I want to talk to you guys about are growth mindset and fixed mindset. And give me a thumbs up if you've heard of those 2 terms, growth mindset, fixed mindset. Give me a thumbs up if you've heard of those 2 terms. Welcome, Kim. Thanks for hopping on. I know Kim's tired. She was there this weekend as well. Katie said, agree. It can help you sail the boat or it can sink the ship. 100%, Katie. Give me a comment or even just a reaction, like a thumbs up or heart or something, if you have been in a situation that you have realized you are sinking your own ship because of your mindset. My own thumbs up. I have sunk my own ship because of my own self. Yeah, and I see a bunch of different reactions coming, because I think we've all been there at some point in time, right? Or maybe you're there right now, and it's not easy to get through. But when you do get through it and you come out the other side, it's so worth it, right? It's so worth it. Kim said that's real estate daily, 100%. Like, in real estate, you have got to have a strong mindset, because like it's not for the weak, right? And not to say that you are weak if you are working on yourself, because like I've been in real estate since 2005. And so the versions of myself have been all over the map. You know, in that time, I have gotten married, I've had kids, I've started businesses. There's a lot of different things that have happened. And so to think that my mindset wouldn't be all over the roadmap during that period of time would just not be realistic. And so, but in real estate specifically, like, you have to just be honed in on a healthy mindset if you're going to not let it weigh you down. Claudia said, my own self, fear holds me back. Yeah. So Claudia, I don't know if you've seen this before, and I'm actually filming on my phone, so I can't show you, but fear is a big thing I overcame earlier this year. And so I actually have my background screen on my phone says F fear, basically, because it's my reminder to myself when I start to feel anxious and it's rooted in a place of fear that I F fear, you know? Like, I'm not going to let that rule my life, not going to let it rule my mindset. So, all right. Who is ready to see the graphic? Give me a 1 in the comments if you're ready to see the fixed versus growth mindset graphic that I'm about to share with you guys. Give me some 1s while I pull it up. All righty. I'm going to share my screen here with you guys, I promise. Put me down here, and we're going to share the screen. Okay, so I know this might be hard for you guys to read. So here's what I want to do. I want to bring you guys over here so I can see your comments still. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down this left and right. So fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Like I said, I did not make this. I did find it on Google when I Googled fixed mindset versus growth mindset, and it appealed to me because it has pretty colors and I like the shapes. And That's how my brain works. So let's start with fixed mindset. We're going to go down the left. Someone who's in a fixed mindset, and we have all been here at some point in our lives. And I want to preface this with saying that it's really easy, kind of like how we talked about authority and like leveraging your authority a couple weeks ago. It's really easy to flip back and forth between fixed mindset and fixed mindset and growth mindset. Because I think there are a lot of factors that kind of affect that. For example, I was really tired yesterday from the conference, from not getting enough sleep, up late every night, up early every morning, and just super wore out and tired. So it was really easy for me to fall into some of these fixed mindset places because I wasn't taking care of myself, because I wasn't giving myself the self-care I needed to really make sure that my brain stayed in that good place. So fixed mindset, someone who avoids challenges. Maybe they're non-confrontational. Like if you're like me, I grew up non-confrontational, and so I flip back there sometimes. And I don't want to say confrontation is like you should be confrontational in everything you do, but you need to know when to address a situation or when to stand up for yourself. That's the biggest thing. You need to know when to stand up for yourself and your beliefs in your situation. So someone who avoids challenges or avoids obstacles, takes the easy way, might be in a fixed mindset. Someone who shies away from things they're not sure of. Someone who likes to stay right here in their box, in their lane, they might be in more of a fixed mindset. They're losing out on opportunities to learn and to grow because they don't want to go outside of that box, right? They don't want to go outside of exactly what they know and what they're comfortable with. They're unable to handle criticism or feedback. I am someone who has gotten very defensive very easily when being criticized or when somebody's giving me feedback. And it's because I was in a fixed mindset. I was always the first person to come up with an excuse or a reason why I was getting that criticism, why I was getting that feedback, as opposed to just taking it for the opportunity that it is to see like, hey, this person sees me a little different and maybe is trying to help. Not saying that everybody's opinion is what you should take in, but not being completely closed off as well. Intelligence and talent is static and does not develop post-birth. You're just not constantly learning, constantly improving yourself. I think that's really important. Doesn't carry out actions without seeking approval. So this one is really interesting because we all know those people, right? The people who have great ideas, but they just talk about them so much and they need to get approval from 50,000 people before they actually act on anything. We know those people, right? And those types of people, that's a fixed mindset because they are counting on the opinions and belief of others to give their idea validation. And a lot of times that's rooted in a lack of confidence and belief in ourselves. So we're going to get to more of that in a minute. Focus on proving yourself. Focused on proving yourself. Yeah. I think that, people who are in a fixed mindset, it's not so much about competitiveness at that point as it is as much of, I need to show people that I am this way. I need to show people that I can do this. I think that, and we're going to dive more into that in a minute, I promise. Threatened by the success of others. Again, that ties into, are you competitive or are you bitter? Are you competitive or are you bitter? So let's we'll dive into that. Effort is not regarded as fruitful. So this one really sticks out to me, and this is going to tie in a lot more as we go through this session. But all too often, we're only concerned with the results. Did it close? Did it fund? Did I lose the 15 pounds fully that I wanted to lose? We only look at the result, but we don't look at the effort. We don't praise ourselves in the effort. We don't celebrate the small wins that we had throughout the process. So effort is not regarded as fruitful. We don't see the effort as a win, right? Understanding failure as the limit of ability. I think that's a pretty powerful phrase in itself. Understanding failure as the limit of ability. And gives up easily. Yeah, I think that was a pretty much given after all of those, right? Someone who gives up easily. So let's go into growth mindset. It's kind of it's the flip side, right? It's the opposite side. First one, views challenges as opportunities, opportunity for growth, learn something new, acknowledge and embrace your weaknesses. I think that is really important. I had to acknowledge and embrace that two of my weaknesses were excuses and time management. Like, I suck at time management. I always have. And I grew up in a family where lateness was just a trait and it could not be fixed, and it just was who they were, right? And it took a lot of work for me to recognize that I don't always have to be late. I don't always have to be crappy with my time, but it is something I'm having to deal with and overcome and figure out for myself. And honestly, that's why I'm doing 75 hard, because I don't want to always be crappy with my time management. And so 75 hard is forcing me to be better about planning my time, about planning my weeks and my days and my moments and all of that. It's forcing me to take accountability for that time management aspect. The other side, the other weakness I have, like I said, I get defensive, I make excuses really easily for things, is there are no excuses in 75 hard. You either do it or you don't. And often, if something got so slightly off track for me, I'd make the excuse. Well, and we all do it, right? I experienced it with friends this weekend. Well, I'm supposed to be only drinking water, or I'm supposed to be dieting, but I already had one today. So damn be the weekend, right? Like, we all make excuses. I was supposed to work out today, but I'm already 20 minutes late. And so, I don't have the time to do it, as opposed to just doing a little bit of a shorter workout, maybe, or recognizing that you built in the buffer. And I say this to myself because I did it a few weeks ago. You built in the buffer there for a reason, right? Not just to have extra wasted time sitting there. So acknowledge and embrace your weaknesses. Learn to give and receive constructive criticism. Not only receive it, not only receiving that feedback and recognizing it as constructive, but also giving it. How can you give feedback without it coming across as being mean or something else? Learn how to give and receive constructive criticism. Intelligence and talent is dynamic and ever improving. You're always learning. You're always getting better, trying to be better versions of ourselves, right? A couple of you guys heard that this weekend a few times. Prioritize learning over seeking approval. Yeah. So that goes back to not carrying out any actions without seeking approval. So when you have those grand ideas, as opposed to talking to 1,000 people, trying to get their approval that it's a great idea, why not go learn more about it and immerse yourself becoming the expert on that idea? So then you have the confidence to know that, yeah, this is going to be really great. And I don't need everybody else's approval because I believe in it, right? Be inspired by nope, I think I skipped one. Focus on the process instead of the end result. So celebrate your little wins. And I'm going to say that a million times more on this session, but focus on your process, not just your end result. You got somebody under contract. That's a big deal in this market. Next is closing, sure, but focus on that. Let's get you under contract first, and then we'll focus on the rest. Let's get you an appointment first. If you're cold calling, get somebody on the phone first. That's goal number one. Just get somebody to pick up the phone. That's goal number one. Celebrate that. Focus on that. And then you can focus on the appointment. And then you can focus on getting them under contract as a client. And then you can focus on the rest of their process. Focus on the process itself, bit by bit. Does that make sense, you guys? I know I'm kind of going on a little tangent sometimes. Be inspired by the success of others. I saw some amazing winners this weekend. Like, the amount of business that they're doing, the amount of success that they've found in their lives and in their business is so inspirational. And I had people that were with me that were almost like, at first, kind of grumpy about it, right? And I had to remind them, let it motivate you. Let it inspire you. Somebody sells $35 million in volume a year. Don't be mad. Don't hate. Let it inspire you. You can do that. You just have to go after it. You just have to know it's possible. And I think that's the biggest thing about going to these types of conferences and conventions and things like that, is that it allows you to see that dreams can be bigger than what they are, right? So let the success of others inspire you. Think of learning as brain training. Just like you go work out, just like you run, you lift weights, whatever it is, just like you work out, you got to work out your brain. Make sure you're working out your brain, learning, reading, all of the things. Understanding failure as an opportunity to grow. That one feels pretty self-explanatory. Out of our failures, we have opportunities to grow. And persist in the face of setbacks. That one's important. So for me, when I write in my gratitude journal every morning, I write as part of my intentions, I'll be persistent in my efforts. And that's just my reminder to myself, one, keep going. Just keep going, keep pushing. But also, don't let little things stop you from getting your dreams. Don't let little things stop you from meeting your goals. Be persistent. So I'm going to drop this because I thought it was really good to kind of break it down. I'm going to drop this into the chat at the end of the session today. It won't let me do it during for some reason, but I'm going to drop that in there for you guys so you have it. So if you're watching this on replay and you're looking for this, just go scroll the chat and you'll find it in there. Okay. So coming back to here, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back to not sharing. And I think my camera is out. So hopefully it'll come back soon. Pull this over here. Okay. So coming back to where we were, which is the fixed versus, we just did the growth versus fixed mindset graphic. I'm going to post that in the chat, but I want to know from you guys, who here wants to be in a growth mindset? Who here is in a growth mindset? Give me some reactions in the chat, whether it's in the little reaction bar or me's. Give me some me's, because like that should be a yes, please, me. Let me know who here either is in a growth mindset right now or wants to be in a growth mindset. And I will try to work on this camera one little bit real quick to see if we can figure out what is going on. I don't know if it's my computer or my phone, but I suspect it's my computer because I burn out ports really easily. All right. So let me get back over here to you guys in the chat. That is not what I'm looking for. How many me's do I have? There we go. Me, yes, please. What if you're in a life mindset? Manny, that's a really good question. I'd love to know, Manny, tell me a little bit more. What do you consider a life mindset? Give me a little bit more detail on that. Karen said wannabe. Yeah, that's a good, at least the awareness is important. The awareness is what's really important. So here's something, a think of moment. I want you to think about, instead of an obstacle, your problems can be a vehicle for you to develop a greater understanding. You know, like instead of your obstacles being problems and issues, or your problems being obstacles, think of them like a vehicle for you to better understand yourself, to understand others, your environment. We go back to, it impacts the way we think, behave, talk to others, all of that, right? So if you think of your obstacles as just a vehicle for you to better understand how you interact with others, interact with yourself, think about how powerful that could be in your daily process. Come across an obstacle. It's not an obstacle, it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle for you to better understand the process. What could we have done better? What are we going to do better? What could we have done differently? Just a little think of moment. And I have it written down if you guys want me to read it so you can write it down for anything. Instead of an obstacle, your problems can be a vehicle for you to develop a greater understanding of others, yourself, and situations. Got a few comments in here. Lots of yeses, wannabes, me. I want to, it's a daily challenge, but you have to be growing. 100% Angel. That is a great point. And like I said earlier, sometimes you will flip back and forth between fixed mindset and growth mindset. But you have to be persistent, right? Like it's not going to be easy. And even once you're good at it and you're in a mindset that's really healthy, in a good place, you're still going to have moments of weakness, right? You're still going to have moments where you're tired or you've just had enough or things aren't going perfectly. It's going to try to drag you back in, and you just have to be persistent and staying into that good place, right? And most days would have to really focus on it. Yeah, you just got to keep working on it. It's just like a muscle. You just have to keep training it. And 50-50, kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to transition my thinking into 100% growth mindset. It's difficult to put in a sentence, but essentially just living in the moments and take advantage of the current opportunities. Yeah. So Manny, that would definitely be a growth mindset. To recognize, take advantage of your opportunities. Living in the moment, that mindset kind of allows you to just not carry the baggage of the past, right, into your future endeavors. Live in the moment, focus on what's in front of you. I think that's definitely a growth mindset. And something else I was going to say is, Sarah, you said trying to transition my thinking into 100% growth mindset is, I can tell you this, and I feel like I wasn't sure if I was going to share this story or not, but I think I should. I have found in the last 30 days alone that my growth mindset, the work I have been doing on myself, the work I have been doing in my business, in my brain, has had such major impacts on my personal interactions with people. So in the past 30 days, I've had 3 separate interactions with people that in the past I normally would have dreaded interacting with. And I still had some dread, right, going into those interactions because I only had those past experiences. But while I still had dread, I forced my thinking into saying, let's just see what we can pull from this. Let's just see what we can take from this interaction, in the sense of give it the benefit of the doubt, right? And I can tell you that all 3 of those interactions that in the past would have been snarky, uncomfortable, frustrating, all 3 of those interactions had so many pleasant surprises, because all of a sudden my perspective was different. My perception of somebody, I forced myself to stop it and to just be in that moment with that person. And it was so much more enjoyable, which was so much less stress on me. Like it was so much less of the on me, because I didn't allow those situations to be held back by the baggage of the past. I just lived in that moment with that person. And we had some really great collaborations in each of those areas. So that was with those people, I should say. And I'll be honest, the first set were actually my in-laws, because like whose in-laws don't drive me crazy sometimes, right? When they come to visit, you're just like, my in-laws are here, right? But with that, I never found myself frustrated with them. I never found myself annoyed by their actions or something like, that they were doing. I just enjoyed their visit. And that was so rewarding, to not have them leave and feel like I had just been shouldering all this weight of frustration all weekend. So that was really eye-opening for me. And that was the first exposure to that perception change that I had. And then I had 2 others over the past 30 days, and both of those just surprised the hell out of me. So just something to think about, the work that you do on yourself, this transition into getting to this growth mindset, it has so many more impacts other than just your business. It has impacts on your relationships. It has impact on your home life. And Sarah, you said you want to be 100% there. You're never going to be 100% there. And that's okay. It is okay to recognize that sometimes you won't always be on. But what's important is to have the awareness that you can pull yourself out of it. We're going to switch back. This morning, I was tired, all of those things, but I knew that if I wanted to get my week started off right and get right back into the mindset I needed to be in, even after being so tired yesterday and from the weekend, I needed to sit down, I needed to meditate, I needed to read, and I needed to do my journaling, because those are the things that are going to put me back into that growth mindset. That's my routine. Claudia said it's pretty hard to stay in a good mindset, but so easy to fall off the wagon. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty hard to eat healthy, right? But it's so easy to go eat crap. It's so easy to go eat junk food. It's really easy, right? So it's something you have to stay persistent about. I'll tell you guys, this weekend, I chose to not drink alcohol this weekend. And one of those reasons is because I'm doing 75 hard. It's important to me. It's a commitment I made to myself. The other part of that was I was around a group of friends that I would historically, we would go out after the events and everything in the evening, and we would drink way too much. And that still happened. Like, I still went out and I still stayed out late, but I didn't drink. And I think, one, it was a test to myself to say that I can go out with this group of friends and be strong enough in my commitments to myself that I don't give into that peer pressure. Because trust me, I got the peer pressure. The shots were lined up in front of me because they were sure I was going to take one, right? But they were also supportive in the sense of, like, they mainly just would order them without thinking. But then, like, oh, well, just somebody else will take it. That kind of thing, right? So, like, it is easy to fall off the wagon, but you have to be committed to yourself, and you have to stay persistent that I'm going to focus on me, because you are the only one who can make you a priority. You're the only one who can make your mindset a priority. Yeah. So I kind of tangented a little bit from the comments, but that's okay. That's what it's here for. That's why we're live. So I can get that feedback with you guys. So who wants to know, how can we adopt a growth mindset so that you can get more success? Give me some reactions. How can we adopt a growth mindset so that you can get success? And if you have some ideas, put them in the comments. How do you think you can adopt a growth mindset to find success? What are some things you can do to help you adopt a growth mindset? I'm going to go ahead and dive in while you guys are commenting. I know we have a tad bit of a delay between the stream and when I actually talk. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in while you guys are commenting, but I want to see those comments. So how can we adopt a growth mindset? Number one, y'all, I said the wrong words. And they're written right here in my framework. I moved one step forward. What we're going to do is talk about how adopting a growth mindset can bring you success. It happens. I need more coffee. How adopting a growth mindset can bring you success. All right, I have 3 things, and then we'll get into how you can, okay? Adopting a growth mindset can bring you success. It can enhance your drive, your motivation, your desire to get stuff done. And I'll tell you a perfect example of this for me personally, and I'm sharing my personal experiences because that's what I have. I would love to hear from you guys and your personal experiences. But last night, even though I was so tired, and I've been running on like 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night for the past week, I was so tired, but I knew there were things I needed to get done. Namely, I needed to prepare for this class today. And I needed to get those things done before I went to bed last night to be prepared for today. I didn't go to bed till like 12:30 last night, even though I was absolutely exhausted. But it's because my motivation and my desire to be prepared so that I didn't come into today as a total mess was bigger than my desire to go to sleep in that moment, right? So my growth mindset gave me that motivation, gave me that drive. It can also help you beat adversity, overcome those obstacles, deal with that stress, those challenges. Being in a growth mindset, because you're no longer seeing challenges as challenges, you're seeing them as opportunities, you can beat them a lot easier, right? And it can change your perspective. Like we talked about already in my situations and my stories that I shared, it can change your perspective of people. And it did. I had multiple people like this weekend even that I initially thought one way about them. And now I feel differently because my perspective of them is different, right? I don't know if they did something different or if it's just me, but my perspective is different of them. And I was able to enjoy their company a lot more. So now we can get into who wants to know what you can do to improve your mindset. I'm going to need all hands on deck engagement for this one, guys. So if you want to know, I need a 1 in the comments. If you want to know what you can do to improve your mindset so that you can utilize that and you can harness it and capture it and start reaping the benefits of having a growth mindset, of having a healthy mindset. Give me those 1s in the comments so that way I know I'm not moving forward until I see a 1. I got to see at least one. We're going to know who exactly wants to know what you can do to improve your mindset so you can reap those benefits that I just mentioned. And if I look this way, it's because that's where you guys are. You're in my comments right here on my computer. Love it. Love all those little reactions. All right. Awesome. All right. So if you're going to take notes, this might be the time to pull out that pen and paper. Number 1, how to improve your mindset. Work on your self-esteem. Seems obvious, I think, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe you can. You have to be willing to risk yourself, to bet on yourself, to get through a growth mindset. And to do that, you have to believe in yourself. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have confidence in your ideas. You have to have a belief that you are worth it. And think about what that confidence and that belief in yourself could do for other parts of your business and how you handle things. Somebody wants to cut your commission. Are you worth them cutting your commission? You're not. Spoiler alert, you're not. You have to believe in yourself. And the biggest part of getting yourself into a growth mindset is your self-esteem. Yeah. Ways you can work on that. Self-care. And I don't mean just bubble baths and pedicures, right? Self-care, for example, for me, looks like getting in my workout every day because it gives me that place to just go and not think about other things. I honestly probably think about more work when I'm working out, but it's because my brain all of a sudden is relaxed and I'm not worried about the calls and the emails and all the things, right? It's meditating for me. Meditating is a really big one for me because I need that quiet space to dive into my brain where I'm not moving, I'm not doing anything. And then journaling because I need to see my thoughts and my intentions and my goals on paper in order to cement them right here. I need to write for things to click. So for me, those are my self-care routine items. If I do those items, then my everything stays higher. My confidence, my belief in myself, my ability to commit to those small actions drives my confidence of myself through the roof. Education is another way that you can drive self-confidence, self-esteem. If you are so educated in what it is you're trying to talk about, you're not going to question what it is you're saying because you're going to know, I have done my research. I have made it my mission to be knowledgeable in this area. Maybe it's a program, maybe it's a strategy, maybe it's a way to grow your business. Maybe it's about the industry as a whole. If you make it your mission and you're educated, then you don't have to worry about anybody else giving you approval or second guessing you because you are confident in your own thoughts. And then affirmations. I'm a big believer in affirmations. I have a couple of affirmations that I do. One of those is I make myself my own priority. And that is important because often we let everything else around us become priority in life and we forget about ourselves. And so for me, I have an affirmation that says I make myself my own priority. I have others that are related to business and things like that, but that's my core. I make myself my own priority. And I used to think affirmations were a little woo-woo, but I've come to realize the power they have in the thoughts and things that we tell ourselves. The thoughts we tell ourselves are so important. And so whenever you write those things down, your brain, it reads them, it sees them, it thinks them, it hears them, and then it starts to believe them. So work on your self-esteem. Number 2, praise your process, not just your results. Like we talked about earlier, celebrate the process. Celebrate those little wins. Focus on learning, not just achievement. Don't focus on just closings. Focus on the fact that, hey, I booked 500 appointments this year. Just throwing numbers out. That's an achievement. It might not have led to 500 closings, but that's an achievement, right? That's a big deal. Focus and celebrate those achievements. Don't just let them slide under the rug and only focus on the big stuff. That's like only focusing on the pretty people and not recognizing that there's a lot of amazing people out there that are also gorgeous, but not in traditional society sense. I don't know where that came from. It just came out of my brain, but we're going to run with it. So praise your process, not just your results. Give yourself some love on the fact that you did it, that you did something. Number 3, communicate realistic expectations of outcomes. This is a big one because all too often we dream, right? Especially in real estate, we're dreamers. And we focus on the big things, the ideal scenario. Now, a lot of you might have been forced to help your clients focus on the reality of situations, especially in the past 2 years. But all too often we focus on the ideal and we don't set realistic outcomes when discussing situations. And so I think something that you can do to help your growth mindset is set realistic outcomes for your situations. I think that's a really big, to be realistic with yourself and with others. You know, here's what our dream is, but in reality, here's a good one. I have 50 things to do today, right? And let's say I'm like, okay, let's work on these 10 things today. That's not very good planning, but I also have 6 appointments. So, in reality, I'll probably get 2 things. So to only talk about getting all 10 things done is not setting myself up for success, because I'm not going to get those 10 things done. Let's be real. I'm going to get like 2 or 3 things done. And that's okay, because I had appointments for other things. I need to be recognizing that a realistic outcome for today would be to get those 2 or 3 things done, and that should be considered a win. So be realistic in your expectations of your outcomes. Number 4, establish a culture with yourself and with others that promotes effort, learning, and resilience. I'm going to read it again. Establish a culture with yourself, your culture for you, and the culture that you exude to others that harnesses the idea of learning and effort, promoting that effort, celebrating that learning and resilience. You got knocked down, you got back up. Doesn't matter you got knocked down, you got back up. That's what we need to celebrate. If your culture is focused on those things, on promoting effort, promoting learning, and promoting resiliency, then you are firmly in that growth mindset. And everybody around you will be affected by that. And where I see that really working more so is like with my kids. When I focus on those things, not just the end result, I find that the relationship is a lot stronger and they're more receptive to my help, right? They're more open to me giving them that assistance. They're more open to learning things themselves. But that can also be said with your clients. That can also be said with your fellow agents. Maybe if you lead a team or you have a brokerage, think about how that culture pertains to your group. Number 5, positive self-talk. Y'all, we talked about this a little bit already. Positive self-talk, how you talk to yourself matters. The words you say to yourself, your brain, it's listening all the time. And it hears the words you think, it hears the words you read, it hears the words you say. And so when you are mean to your brain, it ruins your brain's mindset, which is really your mindset. So talk nicely to yourself. Don't be mean. There's enough mean people out there. You don't need to be mean to you. Number 6. Who's ready for number 6? Got 2 more. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. And that might sound like a very Southern thing to say, but often we give grace to others around us. They must be going through something. They must have just be having a bad morning. They must not have the knowledge. They must not be in the business very long. They must not be. We give a lot of people grace, right? We try to give people grace because we don't know their situation. Give yourself grace. You are a flawed human being. You are not going to be perfect 100% of the time. You are allowed to mess up, and you are allowed to make mistakes, and you're allowed to not make everybody happy or be perfect to everybody. You're allowed to fall off the wagon when it comes to, you know, those things that you're working on. What's important is that you get back on. You got to give yourself grace. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. We're too hard. And when we're too hard on ourselves, we're not recognizing the efforts that we're putting in. So give yourself grace. And then last but not least, celebrate the small wins. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Celebrate your small wins. Don't wait till it gets to the big one to celebrate it. Celebrate those small wins. Before we head out today, I have a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about. One, I would love for you guys to go in the comments today and write down, what is your biggest takeaway from today? I want to hear from you guys, because I'm really big on feedback loops. And if I'm not hearing from you guys, then I don't know if I'm helping. So I would love for you to go in the comments and tell me, what's your biggest takeaway from today's session? That's really important to me. Number one thing, right? Secondly, I would love to have somebody join me on here one day. I would love for somebody to come on here, and maybe we'll do a session, like a separate mindset class that's not on the Monday class, but somebody to come on and talk to me about your growth journey, your growth mindset journey, whether you're just getting started, whether you're firmly in the middle of it, or whether you have gone through it and you're on the other side now and you're just living and maintaining this amazing growth mindset journey. I would love somebody to join me. So a brave soul who is willing to come onto this video platform with me. I will handle all of the tech and logistics, and I will guide you along the way. Who is willing to share their journey, I'd love to hear from you. So you can send me a private message. You can email me at Kristen@blackhoundcreative.com. You can, if you want to join me on here, then just say, you can comment, say join in the comments, and I'll reach out to you privately. So, just let me know if anybody on here is interested in doing that. Would love to have you on, get some fresh faces. And then also would love to hear if you guys want to hear more on mindset. Would love to hear from you guys, because like I said, this is a topic that is really important to me and that I think a lot of us could use a lot more of, but I also want to make sure I'm bringing you guys the right value. So I want to know if you guys want to hear more on mindset, and if so, what kind of topics do you want? So yeah. So I, for those that don't know, like I said, I've been in the real estate business since 2005. I am a real estate coach and a brokerage owner. We have a franchise brokerage that has been open for a little over 3 years, a mom of 2, and a wife. And in my experiences in that is where I coach my clients from, and recognizing the lives of a busy realtor, the lives of a busy mom, a busy husband, a busy business owner. Our lives are hectic and chaotic, and that's where I coach from, because I think that everybody has room for growth, but that growth sometimes needs to be tailored to you. So what I would love to do is I would love to find out who on here, who's watching this, who wants to know what their growth plan could look like. Who wants to know, if we were to take what your life looks like and what your goals look like and put that into an action plan to get to those goals while simultaneously systematizing your business and bringing you balance in your business? Who wants a growth plan? If you want a growth plan like that, if you want an action plan that says, here's what you need to do to grow your business without going crazy, then comment growth plan in the comments, and I'll reach out to you privately, and we'll set up a quick phone call just to talk about like what you're doing, what your goals are, and what that growth plan might look like. Set up a quick little game plan call, 15, 20 minutes. If you want to know what your customized, personalized action plan would look like, comment growth plan, and I'll reach out to you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. I love doing these on Mondays because I think they're a great way to kick off our week and go do amazing things. You are all amazing people. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today, and go have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.